Okay, so I'm supposed to be standing here because the light is brighter. The attention is more on me, but I'll be here. So, how many of you were in this room this morning when I talk about culture? Just want to have a pulse check. Okay, so it's about 60-70%. So some of the things I'll be talking about, it will be a little bit repeating because I need to brief some of the people here who are not in the morning session, but it's just really, really short, okay? So what I'm going to talk about this time around, it's on creating a culture of growth. So if you remember when I was talking about the 7 steps to transform your company culture, one of them, it's on growth specifically, right? So today we're going to talk about that. And this is where I'll be going into what are the strategies and tools and techniques that we use in Mindvalley, or that we do in Mindvalley, that enables our team member to perform at their best. And these are some of the things that you can do as well. And at the end of the presentation, I'll also be sharing with you one of the things that we are actually building right now for corporations and organizations around the world, where you can use the same thing and implement it in your company for free. Okay, so that would be a good stuff for you that you can straight away work on in terms of growth. And just so you know, the reason why I'm speaking about creating a culture of growth, and also I was talking about culture earlier, is actually because my role in the company, it's 80% coaching and 20% on culture. And if you were attending my presentation this morning about culture, a major part of culture is actually growth. Happiness, growth, significance, and meaning, right? So that's the reason why my role, on top of being a coach, it's also to manage and to maintain the workplace culture of the organization as a whole, okay? So you probably know about Mindvalley already. Again, for people who are not here this morning, Mindvalley, it's basically a transformational education company. What we're trying to do is we are trying to provide education that could change lives, transformational education that you need to succeed in life, but you were never taught in school. Think about your relationship. Think about workplace. Think about managing relationship with your colleagues. Think about parenting. Think about mindfulness, and think about success in the workplace. These are things that you are right now thinking about and doing every single day, but you were never taught how to make it happen or how to succeed in them. So that's what Mindvalley is here for. We aim to reach 1 billion lives by providing transformational education to change the world. So this is one thing that I didn't share earlier, so this is something new. So Mindvalley has been featured on multiple publications, game changers. How many of you know the Forbes 500, the Fortune 500 list for companies in America? Yeah, so in US, they always have these Fortune 500 companies where they look at your value, your assets, your revenue, and so on to determine whether you're like top 10 companies or top 500 companies in the world. So Game Changers is a publication where they actually look at companies who are making a positive impact in the world. So they come up with Game Changers 500, where they look at 500 top companies who are actually making a change in the world through positive impact, okay? We have multiple TEDx speakers in the team. I wanted to highlight actually this one, the World Blue Freedom Center Workplace. So as you can see here, it's 10 years. So we are the one out of the 4 companies in the world who have been certified as the world's most freedom center workplace for the past 10 consecutive years. What that means is that this survey actually helps to look at whether if people in the company feel that they have the freedom, feel that the workplace is actually a democratic workplace. So we are one of the 4 companies who have been winning this award for the past 10 years in a row. And we are probably the smallest company because the other 3 companies who are part of the list, they are actually $1 billion company. And we are only like a 100 million valuation company. And this rings a lot about the capability of Mindvalley as an organization, to be able to be there with 49 different nationalities from all around the world working in the same place. That shows how Mindvalley's culture and our way of working actually translates into our day-to-day work. So when I was creating this presentation, when I was presenting this early this year in Malaysia, one of the biggest questions I feel that when we're talking about culture of growth, one of the biggest questions is this: why are people extremely disengaged at work? And we all know the studies that 85% of the people in the workplace are actually actively disengaged or disengaged. And mind you, actively disengaged literally means that they don't give a damn about your company. They will be going to your company, they clock in, they do what they're supposed to do or not, and then they clock out and expecting they get their paycheck every single month and expecting them to get the promotion or the raises that they deserve because they're part of the company. That's people who are actively disengaged. So the question is, why are people actively disengaged at work? What actually causes people to be extremely disengaged at work? And think about it, it's 85%. It is like almost more than 20%, more than 80%, sorry, of people who are actually extremely disengaged. And we all know how disengaged people would actually affect productivity, will actually affect your revenue, will actually affect your sales, literally everything, your customer service as well. And there are multiple research that has been shown. This is a research by PwC on what makes an attractive employer. So if you look at it, number one, opportunities for career progression, competitive wages or financial incentives, training, good benefits and packages, flexible working arrangement. Those are like the top 5, right? So there are multiple studies that have been done to help people to be more engaged at work. But why year after year, the Gallup studies has shown that people are actually getting more and more and more disengaged, right? And fundamentally, based on my experience in people and culture and in HR, this is the one thing that we have always forgotten at work. We have forgotten that we are all human. As much as studies have shown the kind of things that we need to succeed in life, or the things that you need to do as an employer to be more attractive, we forgot that different people in the room or different people in the workplace would have a different preference. They have different needs, and their needs to be satisfied in different ways or different methodologies. And over the years of thousands and thousands of interviews that we have done in Mindvalley, these are the real reason why we found out why people look for a job. See, think about it, right? How many of you have a human resource department in your company? You do, right? So you call it human resource, right? Probably everyone, most of them. So the question is, why do we call our people human resource? Think about it. The word human as a resource came from like probably 1940s or 1950s, the first industrial revolution, when Henry Ford started making cars, manufacturing industries. You need resources to go into the factory to produce certain amount of output, number of cars, number of whatever, right? That's how human resource was back then started. But right now, why do we still call human as a resource? Do you think human is really a resource, or we are actually an asset? We are an asset. See, companies cannot function without people, but we're being treated as a resource. And resources are literally things that are dispensable, right? So that for me personally is just a massive change. So think about it. Why would a HR function that was started in 1950s, or all the practices that's being implemented back then, is still being implemented right now? Think about it. What are the HR practices or policies that you have in your company right now is there because it was there a long time ago? Let's think about it. Recruitment. I know there was a session on recruitment just now. How many of you ask your potential recruits about their salary history? Right? So that is one of the things that I personally couldn't understand, because I feel that salary history does not determine the value of this person who's joining your company. As a people team, you already have a budget for the role. Why don't you just give your budget to that person? Why do you have to compare it to the previous history of the person who's getting an employment, right? Let's just say a person will have a disadvantage of actually starting really low. That means his or her trajectory in terms of salary and financial increment wouldn't be as high as someone who's equally valuable, equal skill set, but started their salary on a slightly higher scale, right? That's, for me, unfair, right? So those are one of the reasons, those are the kind of rules that we want to bust, right? So why do people really want a job? And based on this, and also based on thousands of interviews that we have done in Mindvalley, these are the 4 key elements: growth, happiness, meaning, and significance. I've spoken about how these 4 things actually make a difference in your company culture this morning. And today we are going to go deep into growth, right? So these are the Mindvalley culture quadrants. You have already seen it this morning on how we use all these 4 to help people to build a raving workplace culture where people from 49 different nationalities actually want to come to Malaysia to work for Mindvalley. So today we're going to talk about growth. And what does it really mean? What does growth really mean? See, this survey has shown like number 1 and number 3 are a lot about people growth. Agree? Yeah? So opportunities for career progression is about growth. Excellent training and development programs, again, are about growth. So out of the top 3 things that makes an employer attractive, 2 of them are on training and development. And think about it. Me, as a head of learning and culture in Mindvalley, training and development sounds pretty simple, right? Have some budget, send people for trainings, and you're done, right? So that's like what really makes a difference then in Mindvalley. What are we trying to make a difference in our growth and training and development programs? So before I go into how we do it, these are the 3 myths that we want to bust. Why these are the 3 myths that we want to bust is because when we step in and look at, see, Mindvalley right now, it's almost 300 people in 4 different locations. Our HQ is in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but we also have offices in Costa Rica and Estonia. So we want to look at, what makes Mindvalley such a great workplace to work? What makes people who owns $1 million business who sold off his business to join Mindvalley? What makes people like me who own my own coaching business actually let go of my coaching business and join Mindvalley to be a resident coach in Mindvalley, right? Number 1, trust must be earned. This is very typical in any HR practitioners or in the HR industry. Think about it. Every single time when an employee or a team member joins the company, the first things that they have to do is they have to prove to you that they're capable of doing something in the next 3 to 6 months. You are not given big projects because you need to prove yourself first. You are not given a project straight away because you are supposed to, there's a 3 months onboarding process or there's a 3 months learning process where you need to adapt into the company culture and so on. But for us in Mindvalley, this is how we define leadership. Leadership is recognizing that we are all one, that every person you lead is as brilliant as you, as talented as you, and has the same capacity for growth and accomplishment. They simply need to be reminded of this fact. What does this mean? It's simply that when we hire someone into the company, we expect them to be able to perform at their best straight away. What does that mean? That just simply means that we don't wait for 3-6 months to be giving you a project. What happens is that straight when you come in, you are already managing a product launch. You're already managing a product launch that will worth 500,000 USD to $1 million. And we are not like telling you that, no, you shouldn't do it for 3 to 6 months because you need training first. We believe the best training is on the ground. It's when you start doing things. It's when you actually take practice and practice and practice. So we have a great story about this on how an intern who joined Mindvalley almost 9 to 10 years ago, where he was literally someone new, and there was a business in Mindvalley that wasn't doing too well back then. What happened was Vishen, the CEO, decided to go to that person and put this project to that person and ask the person, the goal of this project is not really big, it's just $1 million. So that person has 2 months, no, 3, has 3 months to launch the project, to do everything. So he did it, and he did not manage to achieve $1 million, but he's close. He was about $800,000 to $900,000. And does that sound like a failure to you? No, it's not. For us, it's a massive accomplishment. And let me tell you why. That business has never achieved more than 500,000 in revenue ever. Right? So think about it. Think about how your people will be stretched and grow if when they come in, you know exactly what are the kind of projects that you can give them. And mind you, these are very important because these new people who are coming in, they don't really know the rules of the organization yet. They don't really know what are the do's and don'ts. They don't really know what you can do and you cannot do. So when they come in with an open and fresh mind, they will blow you away, right? So that's number 1. Trust must be earned. That's the myth that we want to bust. Number 2, you must stay loyal to one company. This is one of the biggest things that we don't believe in. And we have probably all seen this. What if you train them and they leave? What if you don't and they stay? We have all seen this. And when I saw this, I was really, really disappointed. In my mind, I was asking myself, oh God, HR professionals, is this the biggest problem that you want to solve? Obviously not. See, sometimes it is a good thing for people to leave your organization. And there's been multiple studies has done to prove that. GE, Jack Welch always believe in the 20% at the bottom, you have to go. It's always, you're just working and getting new people to come in. We also have Boston Consulting Group, for example. They have a policy of 2 years up or out, right? So within 2 years, you either grow up or you get out of the organization. Is that wrong? Is that cruel? I actually don't think so. You might have a place in any other companies who are growing, but just not this company in BCG, for example, right? So for us, we don't believe that every time when we train you, we expect you to be loyal and stay in our company forever, right? That's the reason why we have our training budgets and so on, where people can just take it and they just need to bring back their learnings to the company within the next 3 months. That's what we really believe in. We really want people to grow their skills in a way that will allow them to be the best version of themselves. And last but not least, you must only grow professionally. And I know this is very common again, and this is the myth that we want to bust. We don't really care if you're taking trainings or certifications that helps you professionally. We also look at your personal development. Mindvalley has invested more, I believe Mindvalley has invested in more financially in personal development courses for our team member than professional certifications and trainings. And this is because we believe that if you become the best version of yourself, you will be more productive. When you are the best version of yourself, you are happier and you will lead the company to a better place in the future. And this is very important for us because the time for people to invest in a company's vision is long gone. It is time now for companies to invest in their people's dream. That's the reason why our growth and training budget is very much allocated into helping people who want to grow their personal aspiration and their personal ambition. They want to be the best digital marketer? Sure, go and get some course. You want to be the best marketer? Go and learn something else. You want to be the best coach? Take up different coaching certifications. We are always there to support you to be the best version of yourself. We're extremely committed to invest in team members' personal goals. That's what we do. Because we believe that happiness is a new productivity. What would happen if everyone show up as the best version of themselves every single day? So this is how we do it. This is how we enable our people to be the best version of themselves. Number one, we have this thing called the Human Advancement Lab. Don't get scared by the word lab. We are not testing things on people. We are helping people to grow. What that means is that Vision and the management team look at the best personal development courses out there in the world. And what we do is that we bring them into Mindvalley and we allow our team member to test it first. And you name it, we have different things on nutrition, wellness, fitness, diets, coaching, goal settings, and all these are different kind of programs that we bring in and we give it for free to our team members. We actually have to pay for it because it's not our program. And these are the programs that are worth like tens of thousands of dollars that we bring in for our team member. Let me just give you an example. So this is Shafiu, this guy right here. He's actually he's our head of product design, basically our head of UX and UI. This is him actually doing an exercise regime where we bring in one of the best exercise regime for busy people, where you only need to exercise about 10 to 20 minutes a week, and you will be able to increase your muscle mass in less than a month, in 30 days. That's a highly scientific programs that we brought in for our team member. And he only does this exercise for 10 minutes in the gym, and this is what happened after. And mind you, I know when I was coming here to speak, Anya and Diana and the team told me that some of you are probably working in a very tech-related companies. So you probably have a lot of challenges working with tech people, introverts, people who are like, very reserved and techy, very geeky and whatnot. See, this is our head of UX. He took part in a personal development program to maintain his health and fitness. Second is our 80-20 rule. This is something that you probably have heard of from Google. So this is the rule where we allow our team member to spend 20% of their time innovating on their personal project or their team project. So what happens is that we have an amount of budget where team can use to go out of the office for 1 day or 2 days to purely work on innovation projects. So they will take the money and book like a tropical island resort and go there and stay for 2 or 3 days to talk about innovation projects every quarter. Some of them don't do it every quarter, some of them do it 6 months. But anyhow, the goal is for them to implement innovation projects on their personal projects as well as their team projects. And here are some of the outcomes of the different things. So Vishen wrote his own book in his 20% time. Amir wrote the book called My Islam, where it was banned in Malaysia. So he has to leave Mindvalley because Mindvalley is based in Malaysia and seek refuge in Canada. And he wrote this book as part of the things that he learned while he was in Mindvalley. Luminita wrote the best personal growth blog, where there's like 1 million views in a week, and he got a offer of 30,000 euros to write a book, and he wrote this book on Amazon. We also have this thing called Lottie. It's nominated for Design Tool of the Year. So Lottie is an online community to find, test, and share animations online. And this is actually started by our head of product UX and design because he found it very hard to look for animations online. So he created an open space, a marketplace where people can put it in and people can get it. So you know all the GIFs that you have on Instagram, they actually pull it from here, one of them, right? And this is a project actually supported and endorsed by Airbnb. And he did it during his free time in Mindvalley, right? Third, we bring all our team members through the Lifebook experience. So Lifebook is actually one of the best goal-setting program that you have ever seen. Probably the only personal growth program where it is highly quantifiable. So there is a number to it in terms of your growth and your achievement and so on. So we bring our teams through the Lifebook experience. It's a 4 days Lifebook experience where we bring them to a jungle where they cannot work. So the purpose of us bringing them to a jungle is because they don't have internet connection, no Wi-Fi, and the phone connection is really bad. So they really cannot work, they can't check their email, and the only thing they can do in that 4 days is to think about their life. In that 4 days, they probably think more about their life than they have ever been in their life. And that's what we invest in. We invest in that because we want them to get really, really clear about what they want to achieve in their life. And this is the Lifebook program. And by the end of the Lifebook program, they'll be getting this binder where we call it the manual of their life. This is the manual where they really think about, what are the things that they want to achieve in 12 areas of their life, and they really stick through it. And then after that, my role as a coach in the company is to make sure that they achieve their goals that they have written in this Lifebook, right? And last but not least, coaching. And coaching is something that I want to touch a little bit deeper today is because that's my role. And I want you to see how coaching has helped our team member to grow and how that helps our company to grow. So we do multiple types of coaching, therapy, life coaching, leadership coaching, as well as career coaching. So we do different things to help our team members. We have team members who want to elevate in their career, so we help them in their careers. We also have team members who want to do something outside of work. So we do life coaching. We help them to achieve that using Lifebook or what we call the Dream Program. So Dream Program is really us helping our team members to achieve the goals and the aspirations that they have in their personal life. Okay? And therapy, I'll talk a little bit more about this. So some of you might be asking why coaching. Some people ask, why would you have a resident coach? Why don't you just hire, external coach to come in to do coaching once in a month and whatnot? But we don't. We have 2 full-time coaches, and our role is to coach every single day, right? So why coaching? See, according to the International Coaching Federation, 99% of people who took or are part of a coaching program are very satisfied with the experience. And why is that so? Coaching has been proven to have increased productivity, it helps people to be more positive, and it actually have a high return on investment. And I'll show you a bit about our return on investment in this at the later slides. So based on our coaching, we have already seen 80% reported improve in self-esteem. And why is this important? This is very important for me personally because, see, when someone has challenges with communication in the workplace or confidence in the workplace, what do HR or training and development team typically suggest? go for trainings, right? Take up like a soft skills or take up a communication course, take up a public speaking course, and you will be able to be confident in public speaking. But is that true? See, based on my work with thousands and thousands of people in coaching and therapy, most of the time, people are not confident in speaking. It's actually because of their subconscious mind. It's because of the limitations or certain fears that they have in their mind. So what we do in Mindvalley is that my role is to help them to get rid of those limitations, and then they'll be able to be confident to speak. Training, yes, might work, but what we believe in, there's a lot more behind it. The fear, the subconscious beliefs that they have would actually stop them from speaking at work. Second, 78% have reported improved relationship with their colleagues and with their family members. And this is very important because if you are having challenges in your relationship in the family, think about it. What kind of energy would you bring into the workplace? Let's just say you have a massive argument or whatever, breakup with your partner the day before. Think about what are the effects that it will bring when you come to work the next day. So that's my role. That's my role to help people to get rid of those fears, limiting beliefs, and traumas. And last but not least, 67% of people reported improved their work-life balance. So what happened is that by having coaching for them, they realized that the managers or we as a company care for them as a person. And when that happened, they know that their life is taken care of. They know that they can achieve their personal goals outside of work. They know that their personal goals are actually important and we actually take care of them, right? So what about Mindvalley? What do we see after implementing coaching for the past 1 year and 2 months in Mindvalley? So these are just some of the testimonials for some people from different teams in the company. I used to think assertiveness makes me bitchy or mean. Now I feel empowered. See, some simple little things like being assertive, saying no. Some people are afraid to do that because they feel that they are being mean. But in actual fact, they are just not. It's just that they are just strong-willed and they just feel empowered to say no. And you can see, I love that now I'm not passive anymore. I see how it pushed me to set awesome goals and crazy. I'm excited as days go by because I know I can do anything I want. Think about the impact that this person would have showing up to work every single day. Think about how this person would show up in his or her team when he or she is so empowered. I asked for a leadership role and competed for it actively because I now believe I'm enough to do this job. This person regained a confidence through my therapy with him or her and helping her to really break that belief that as a woman, she cannot get into a leadership role. The biggest I can observe through our therapy is that I've stopped trying to prove myself. I've stopped trying to prove myself and being an achiever through overworking myself. This helped this person to reduce burnout straight away. This person starts to realize that his or her personal goals are extremely important for her, right? RTT one experience, I honestly was a skeptic. See, we turned a skeptic into a person who would absolutely recommend the experience. A person who doesn't believe in this therapy or hypnosis or neuro-linguistic programming to actually change totally, that he or she right now would recommend every person in the company to go through therapy before actually working in Mindvalley. That's powerful, isn't it? So this has powerful impact in different people who have achieved a lot of personal goals and aspirations in their life, where we have team members who are on Malaysian biggest TV. We have Kali, who's right now managing the 500 startup. We have, of course, me, who was featured on HuffPost. People speaking in TEDx. This guy won I'm not sure if you have it here. I don't think you have it here, but it's basically an obstacle challenge course. They have to run for 21 kilometers with multiple obstacles every kilometer. So 21 obstacles in 21 km. This guy is number 1 out of 20,000 people who competed. And he's part of our team, right? So now you might be asking, this sounds great, but what are your ROIs? So over the past 1 year, what we have measured is this. We have increased our revenue 3 times per person. Second, we have reduced our turnover by 50%. Our turnover rate right now is about 12 to 13%, which is a highly recommended rate, between 10 to 15%. And our employer net promoter score. How many of you are familiar with NPS? Yeah, some of you, so that's great. So we measure our NPS every single year. It's basically how likely are you to recommend Mindvalley as a workplace for your family or friends. And we have been increasing every single year. From 24 to 32, not big, it's only 8, but look at this, 32 to 53. It's 21's absolute number within the year when we implemented coaching. And we have the highest number of months of people actually staying in a company compared to companies like Microsoft, Yahoo, Apple, or Google. People in Mindvalley on average stay for 28 months, while other companies stay for less than almost 2 years or about a year. So these are the 4 key things that we do to help our team members to grow. And as part of our mission to create the world's greatest workplace by 2020, we really, really know that there's a lot more for us to do. We have 1.5 years to get there. I think we're pretty much on track. But besides becoming the world's greatest workplace, we want to be the model. We want to be the role model for all workplaces in the world to be like. We want to set a future of work, a workplace that is so far ahead that people want to follow. And people want to recreate the same organization. So here are the key takeaways. Coaching is not a want, it is a need. Here are 3 simple questions that you can start asking as a manager to ask your team member for them to feel that they are being supported, for them to feel that the company actually cares about them. Second, what is your core? Really understand your core DNA of who you are, your values, and so on. And last but not least, care for your people. And how do we do this? And all these things that I was talking about is made possible by using the Lifebook IntraSpec Assessment. So I've talked about Lifebook just now to you, so I want to go a little bit deeper because this is something that I want to give it to all of you for free so that you can use this to replicate the same thing that we did over the 1 year and you can see massive transformational change in your company. So these are the example of the assessment. So the assessment is basically a 20-minute assessment where it helps people to really understand where they are right now in their life in 12 different areas. So people will be in this graph where they look at where they are right now in their life. So this person where I got this graph from is highly exceptional. So he's on a peak, career, everything. But for example, we also have people who are at the bottom, slightly bottom, above average. We have people who are here. So what's going to happen is that this assessment enables you to see what are the core or what are the biggest areas of life that people in your company are struggling with. Right? So then you can cater your training and development to these different areas of life, right? So these are what you can see. So these are the 12 areas of life, and these you can see where they are lacking at. So for example, this person here is extremely good at social. This person is probably a social butterfly, really good at managing people. But look at this one. This person is extremely low in health and fitness. So your company right now, what are the things that you can do to make sure that you help the company to grow in its health and fitness? See, there is no training or no companies in the world right now that could tell you exactly what the people in your company needs to change. You might come in and say that, oh, they need more training, they need more competencies. But those are things that you know already. You don't need anyone else to do it for you. But what you don't know, it's every single team members of your company and their life. Right? How do you know if this person is struggling in different areas of their life? How would you know this person is actually having some relationship problems or having some health and fitness challenges? How would you as HR manager, people who care about your people the most, take action to help them to solve them? So this is what you can get. And we are already releasing Lifebook to teams and companies all around the world. And this is actually also powered by one of our biggest, most important technology.
Yeah. I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game now. I came here to prove it. I'm ready to do it. I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town.
So our programs right now are powered on the cloud by Mindvalley Quest. And this is where we actually bring in different programs for different company. And by what we are trying to do is we want to be, in the next 18 months, we will be the world's #1 employee engagement program in the world. And it is so far ahead that it is like comparing a normal car to a Tesla. That's what we aim to do. We want to bring this to corporations all around the world, because if there's any way for us to make an impact in people's life, people spend 70% of their waking hours at work. And we want to help companies to make this happen. And we'll be launching this in the next 18 months. And we want to bring it to all of you. And because I'm speaking here today, I want you to be able to have it. And just so you know, this engagement program is not just me speaking or Vision speaking. We are bringing the best teachers that you have ever known in the world to the cloud. So these are some of the people or some of the skills that we are looking for. When you look at this guy, you probably don't know. How many of you have watched X-Men before? The movie X-Men. Yeah, number of you. This guy is the guy who trained all the X-Men cast on memory learning and script learning. This is the guy that teaches speed learning for all the X-Men cast. He trains people like Bill Clinton, Richard Branson, and so on. And he's part of our teacher right now. Think about how your team member will be able to learn if they're part of this program. We have people in different mind and spirit, health and fitness, love relationships, career and influence. You probably know this guy, Robin Sharma, world's #1 leadership guru. Starbucks paid him 300,000 USD to speak for 2 hours. He's part of us right now. Think about the effect and impact that it will have on your organization. So as I said, right now you'll be able to customize your program based on the needs of your people in your organization. It's not like one size fits all. Every single company will be running different programs at a different time, and it will be all powered by Mindvalley Quest and our technology. So these are other teachers that we have. These are all the people who will be coming on board, who are already on board actually, to teach all people all around the world. And most importantly, I need to highlight this. We have this in English as well as in Russian. That's good news for you. So for you to get access to this, if any of you are interested to bring this to your company, we are giving the Lifebook assessment away for free. What you need to do is write an email to this inbox. I'm part of this inbox. It's corporate@mindvalley.com. Just mention in the email that you want to bring Lifebook assessment to your organization, and mention that KarFei provided this in the this HR summit here in Russia, and the team will take it from there and provide it to you. And mind you, this is probably one of the best personal development assessment that I've ever seen. I've not seen any organizations who provide this quantifiable assessment. And most importantly, I really, really think companies in the world should start focusing on their people's development and their people's growth. For all you HR practitioners and managers in this room, start thinking, how do we engage in our team members' aspirations, their goals, and their dreams? Because when you are able to do that, they will already be loyal with you. They will do everything it takes to be the best employee for your organization. So that is one biggest key takeaway that I want you to have. Start to learn and start to care about your team members' personal development and their personal aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have two new pieces of news for you guys. One is good, one is bad. Good is that we have lunch over there, so you can spend a lot of time talking to each other, to KarFei. Bad news are we don't have time right now to ask the questions, so I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and let's give a huge round of applause for KarFei.
So if you need to write to me, this is my personal email address. If you have any questions and whatnot, feel free to write to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.